Isaiah, just thinking about a couple years ago when you were here in training camp, and congratulations on the extension this summer. And just thinking back to that, and now being in this position that you're in, and such a more solidified role and situation and security and everything you got. What's this feeling like heading into this season?
I mean, it's exciting, it always is. But, just hard work day in and day out, paying off, especially, with a great organization, great group of guys that we have here. It's no better feeling. So, just, excited to get the season kicked off. We got a game tomorrow, so travel today, get some good rest and be ready for that.
You last year freed yourself up for threes by actually kind of serving as a screener or acting like you were going to screen. What's it like this year to have a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein who is going to, potentially be able to free you up for some looks with his screens?
Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely think we're going to complement each other very well. He's a big that, first and foremost, he rebounds really well, but he's a great action starter on the offensive end. And it's definitely, I think it'll be a big help, having him on our squad. He plays to win each and every possession, so I think he's going to be good on both ends of the ball.
Isaiah, you guys have been playing against each other every single day now. How nice will it be just to go up against somebody different tomorrow?
Oh yeah, you're always most excited, whenever you get to play, different opponents. Obviously, we put in the work here. Had a great training camp so far, but getting out to see what we, put in here and being able to display it out on the floor against another opponent, that's what we look forward to.
You've been here for a few years now. There's a lot of familiar faces over the last couple of years. How much of that continuity has been showing up so far in training camp?
Oh, each and every day. We have great chemistry with each other. We're close on and off the court, so kind of plays hand in hand whenever we get out there. We're not afraid to, say anything to each other. We hold each other accountable, and I think that's, what helps us be successful.
Isaiah Shea was here earlier in the week just saying that, just talking about last year's offense and how much you guys slip screens. I think the question that prompted it was just talking about Hardenstein. With him specifically, like, how much are you seeing that change the offense in terms of going from slip screens to now you're taking firm ball screens or firm screens from him, not just ghosts and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's just like a mix-up, you know what I mean? So being able to have both in your arsenal just makes it a little bit tougher to guard because you never know what's going to happen at any given moment. So having somebody like that, just set hard screens and be able to free up guys is just a good, fresh feeling.
For you, is there a difference between a wide open three and then someone running at you?
It's all the same.
All the same.
It's supposed to be all the same.
What if that's someone like Wembley, 7, 8, 9, whatever, and they have to get a little bit more arc on it?
It's one of those things like if I shoot it and they don't block it, it's supposed to go in. For my job as a shooter, that's the only way that they're really supposed to affect my shot. So contest, non-contest is supposed to be the same. It's supposed to go in.
Camp is under your belt now. How did this all feel? What was this like? As I'm sure you're getting a lot of stuff thrown at you.
It was fun. I'm a guy that likes information, so this camp was very information filled, and it was a good camp. And credit to all the vets and everybody for helping me, put me in a good position to have a good camp.
Yeah, some of your teammates mentioned that you were very quick in the first, even before camp started, asking questions, very curious. Is that just part of your nature? What's that like?
I'll say yes. I'm not somebody that's just going to be just doing a bunch of things and relying on. I'm sorry. Doug, crazy. I'm not going to be just doing stuff relying on, just thinking like I got all the answers. I've never been like that my whole career. So when I got questions, I'm not afraid to ask. I'm just going to ask them. And, everyone has done a good job, whether it's players, coaches, training staff, whatever. They've done a good job of answering all of them, which has been good for me.
Obviously, this whole thing is very fluid. You guys are trying a bunch of different lineups and different looks. But what sense have you gotten of, what position, more or less, and where they want to put you, how they want to use you?
In camp, I've done, I've been a ball handler, I've been the 5, I've been, just a regular wing. Coach Mark does a good job of just mixing, matching guys everywhere, all over the floor. And, that's something that I've done my whole career in college, really my whole life. So I just kind of just done that. And, in camp, honestly, this has been experimenting a lot of different things. So I've just been able to do a lot of those different things here in camp. So I've been everywhere, so I couldn't tell you where I'm gonna be at.
In the lineup where you're playing the 5, what does the rest of the squad look like? And just, do you have experience guarding up playing 5?
I don't think it's more so about playing at 5. I think it's about honestly who I probably was guarding on the floor. And, it could have been, any guards, the other 4 guards on the floor. It's just about, hell, I'm technically a guard. It's just 5 players on the floor. I mean, I did that with a bunch of different lineups.
Any particular, you said you're coming in, you weren't the type to be afraid to ask any questions. Was there any particular questions that you wanted answered that have been answered for you?
No, nothing in particular. Just like general things on like how to go about certain things, terminology, and just different things like that. Because this game is different in college, so you just got to know the little nuances of it.
What's been the biggest difference that you've noticed so far from college to pro?
I think players out here pick up on things way faster. Obviously, we got a lot of guys that's been in the NBA, like they're young in age, but they've been in the NBA for like a couple years now. So it's a lot of things that they just know. For me, I think, and I learned it in summer league, was the strength and physicality of the game that we play at, and we got a lot of strong physical guys. So out here, it ain't no running from that. So I would say that's one thing that I learned and noticed.
Is there a point of emphasis for you heading into preseason?
Just enjoy the moment, stay present, and continue to look at everything like a process, like I keep talking about. Like, I'm here. I plan on being here for a long time, not just for a short time. So, whether I have a hell of a preseason or I'm terrible, it's all about just information and just learning and figuring out myself as a player and where can I continue to get better at. And I think, the coaches and them, they believe in me. So I'm not really pressured on, honestly, a lot of different things. And hell, we got a good team. So my thing is just enjoying it and just staying with the process, because it's going to be a long process, whether I kill it or I suck, so it's just about the process.
Mark said that this time right now is about investing in system fundamentals. Yeah. Could you maybe describe like what that system is, like offensively? How would you describe?
I would say learning the basics. Like, you're not going to just, especially as good as the team we are, but very rarely are you coming to NBA and you're just like handed the ball and just like go do this. A lot of players like Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, when they come in, Jalen Williams, when they come in, like obviously they're great players now, but like they had to start from the bottom first, and that's just little things: shooting off the catch, playing off the catch, moving without the ball, playing without the ball, like how to fit in with other good players. That's what you mean by system skills. And obviously for me, in college I had to ball a lot in different things, so I've actually thought I've done a good job handling that from coach that he's given to me, and I just got to keep learning. Again, I'm not going to be perfect right now, but I just got to stay with the process.
You've served as a cutter though before in your career. Tell me about that aspect of your game too.
When I was in college, early on, I wasn't expected to shoot three. I didn't shoot that many threes in college, so my whole thing was just how could I be impactful in a lot of different ways. And I just found myself cutting a lot, moving without the ball, using my IQ when I didn't have it. Plus, when I came into college, I was on a team with we had 9 guys coming into class. I was the only freshman. So it was kind of similar to this, where like, it wasn't just, the world didn't revolve around me. So like when the world doesn't revolve around you, you either figure out a way to be in it or you get wiped away from it. And for me, I wanted to be a good player. So that was just my position and what I just decided to do and what the game presented to me. And I just was a smart enough player to just take what the game gave me. And I was doing a good job at it when I was in college. So that's really where it started from. But mainly because when I was early on in my career, I didn't really shoot too many threes and stuff like that.
We're going to rest tomorrow, so they will not play. And obviously, J. Will, K. Rich won't play with their stuff, and everybody else will be available.
Despite not having some of your main guys, this next little stretch here, 3 games and 4 nights, in general, you're going to try to have the cadence be like what it would be when you see a 3 games and 4 night stretch during the season?
In between the games, for sure, we'll manage it like that. But in the games, it's preseason, so it'll be a huge mix of different guys. We're going to get a lot of people out there over the next 3 nights by design. So the games will feel a lot different, but the work in between will be about the same.
Knowing that San Antonio might be approaching the actual game in a myriad of different ways, is there anything, though, that they do present as a team that you are looking forward to having your team go up against?
Just a different opponent. We've played against each other now for 7 practices, so it'll be good to just go against somebody different, get in a game context with officials and an opponent, but there'll be no game prep other than that.
Looking back on where you guys were on Tuesday when you first started training camp, how good do you feel about kind of the progress that this group has made going into the games tomorrow?
Yeah, we've gotten through a lot. We've checked a lot of boxes from a curriculum standpoint and hit our objectives. So the stuff that needs to be in is in. The guys are executing well. I think we've made some progress with some simple fundamentals that are important this time of year. Obviously, tomorrow is a great test to try to figure out where that is at in terms of carryover. So I'm looking forward to see what that looks like.
Is the plan kind of to stagger the starters as you go along through the preseason, or what's that look like?
We're going to take it game by game. We'll start 5 guys tomorrow, and then we'll do what we think is best for the Houston game based on the goals we're trying to accomplish.
We've heard from Kaysen that he, was really intentional about adding some weight, adding some muscle, so he can kind of blow up a few screens as a defender. Have you seen that extra weight show up here during training camp so far?
He definitely looks physical, and he looks more imposing on offense as well, driving. People are kind of bouncing off him a little bit, so he's obviously put a lot of work in. That's not an insignificant amount of strength to put on in one summer, and it's definitely showing up.
You mentioned that for Isaiah Joe, having a screener like Hartenstein is a little bit of a difference, an adjustment. Maybe from a technique standpoint, is there anything that Isaiah Joe is working on to navigate those types of actions and get shots?
The biggest one is don't be surprised how open you are for a 3. I think there's a tendency sometimes when you're running full speed off of those things to think that you're going to have to turn it downhill, and the average player would. But with his shooting gravity, we want him to explore the 3-point shot for as long as possible. So you might be open directly behind it. You might be open one dribble away from it. But we want that to be a 3 if possible. And if they get you off the line at that point, you'll still have an advantage. But that's just a little subtle fundamental that some of the better shooters have. He's definitely got all the shots. It's just about attaching the reads to those plays.
I think we've asked you about a few specific pairings. I don't think we asked you about Lou and Alex. I just wonder how they played off each other, maybe on both ends, and what you've seen from them on the court together.
Yeah, they've been together quite a bit, including again today and including the other day. So we've definitely taken a look at that. We've really shuffled a lot around. We're not limiting ourselves. We have versatile players that can play inside of a versatile system. And one of the benefits of that is you could play a lot of different people that have overlapping skills, and those skills can be additive. They don't detract from one another. So excited to see what it looks like as we get going, but they'll definitely be out there together.
And I know you probably try to keep the teams even during camp, but speaking of overlapping skills, have you had Alex, Lou, and Kaysen on a team at the same time?
The second day they're on a team at the same time. So we've looked at everything. We're trying to make the teams even from a competitive standpoint, but not necessarily even in terms of how we're distributing skill sets. We're trying to look at a lot of different things right now. A lot of that stress tests your system too. You're trying to make sure that your system and the fundamentals that you're teaching hold up with different lineups. So it's not just about evaluating how the players fit together, but it's evaluating what we're teaching and making sure that no matter what lineup's on the court, we've got a system that can kind of bear the weight of that.
Is there any player or anything that you like to closely look at tomorrow?
I want to look at everything. Yeah. I want to look at everything tomorrow, and throughout the preseason, there's a lot of things we're intrigued with in terms of, like I said, our system, a couple adjustments we've made from last season, new personnel, returning personnel, how it fits with the other returning personnel. Kaysen's a great example. He's the same player, but he's a different, skill set. He has a different level, I think, than last season. So seeing that with the same guys that are back and some of the new guys, I'm excited to watch all of it.
Is there anything stood out with Usman Jang in year 3?
I think I have a lot of respect for the work that he's done. From midseason last season, he goes to the blue, having played a small role for us, and really just put his head down and got a lot of minutes and got a lot better, gained a lot of confidence, I think. And then he's had a really good summer from a strength standpoint. And so he's a guy, that's put a lot of work in. And so I'm excited to see him go out there and apply it in these games and in the practices. But he's been very functional and done a very nice job.